today I'll be showing you two hairstyles. One hairstyle will be focusing on having the hair out as a bride or a bridesmaid, and the second hairstyle will be using the same hairstyle that I teach you first to then take it into an updo. The techniques that we'll be focusing on will be based on the Russian technique, so texture, pulled out, and creating lines through the hair. What I'm focusing on teaching you with this tutorial is creating a 3D hairstyle. So whether that be a braid that we're doing, whether we're bringing the hair to one side, it's focusing on pulling the hair to create an illusion so that the hairstyle looks 3D. Welcome to my first hair tutorial. Today we'll be doing a soft hairstyle, something that I usually use on brides for their registry or their civil ceremony. We're going to start off by prepping the hair, by curling and blow drying the hair. So we're going to start off with the hairstyle by taking a section to the top back part of the ear. So if I just turn my model's head, you'll see that it's at the top back part of the ear and all the way across on the other side. And just clip those sections away. And now I will prep the back part of the hair. So I'll be starting off at the bottom. So we're going to start off by prepping the hair, where I've taken two sections, which I spoke about earlier, and I'll now take a section at the bottom. So what we're doing is simply going upwards all the way and just adding some texture and movement into the hair. So just take a section, and I'm going to show you two methods. You can use the Dyson hairdryer or you can use a curler. So I'm started off with the Dyson hairdryer. So taking another section, I'm now going to show you how you would do it with a curler. So I'm using a wand and I'm just wrapping the hair around. This is simply to give it a little bit of curl and movement in the hair. Once you feel the heat come through, just take that off and you'll see the hair curled there. And I'm curling in all different directions just to give the hair some movement. So now that we've done this part, I'm now going to move on to the front. Keeping your sections clean, just curl the front of the hair going backwards. Okay, so we have our last section, and that section, similar to all the other sections on the side, will be curled going to the back. Okay, I'm now going to clip this away. Now for the back, I'm just going to put my hands through and just pull those curls out. If it's easier, you can use a tangle teaser. But if you haven't got much product buildup in the hair, you should be able to put your hands through quite easily. Okay, so once we've put our hands through the hair to pull out the curls, I'm now going to texturize the hair by putting some dry shampoo throughout the hair. So I'm using the Batiste dry shampoo in light and breezy, but you can use any one, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to put it through and work that in, section by section. Now there's no one way of doing the sections, you can just go throughout the hair because we're just trying to get that texture throughout. This will allow us to manage the hair quite well when we're pulling and texturizing so that it will stay up. So wherever you feel like it's silky, you need to go in with the dry shampoo. I'm now going to take this section here and just brush through. So with this hairstyle, we do start at the front, but in order for us to do that, we just have to take a section on this side here. Can you see it, Simon? Yeah? And literally, from the top part of the ears, you're bringing it down like a V shape. Just grab the hair halfway through and you just want to twist it. And I'm literally just going to clip that there while we work with the front part of the hair. Okay, so with the front, I want to keep out some pieces to frame the face. So I'm just going to use my fingers to do a crisscross parting and just take out some hair at the front, providing that it works with your face shape that you're working with. You don't want too much, so you just want a few pieces, a few strands falling out. Now comb through that hair. So I'm going to start with the front hair, and what I'm doing is I'm having two sections coming in together as if it's a braid. In order to do that, I have to crisscross this section here. If you did a straight line down the middle, both of the braids won't come in together and work. Now take the front section and clip that away. And we're going to work with our back section. Now, I'm going to start off by taking one section of that and I'm going to use a dry powder to texturize the root. This will allow me to pull and texturize these areas. And then I'm going to back comb at the back of that section. So it should sit up like this. And take another section and do the exact same thing. And then back comb the front part. And in a second when I work with it, you'll see why I've back combed the front and then the other one was at the back. Take another section. Dry powder. And back comb. I'm combing out each section just to smooth out that back combing. Right, I'm now going to start with one section, so our first section that we back combed and texturized with our dry powder. And I'm going to bring this inwards. And literally texturize it. So I'm taking my fingernails and pulling the tip of the hair and creating these ripples. And then I'm going to take the second section, being very careful that you don't mess up the hair, and just bring that inwards. And again, pull. So on each section, I've pulled 3 pieces out. And then I'm taking it from the bottom, another section that goes over. Then what I'm going to do is use the Redken Wax Blast Spray. What this does is it smooths out all the hair and it allows you to redefine those strands that you've pulled out. And then our last section, I'm going to bring that inwards and do the exact same thing. Take that section and then literally carry on twisting it. So it should be like a twist like that, and then you can then pull wherever you see a curve in the hair. And then I'll just position it near this clip here. Okay, so the next section, which is the other section I had at the front, this will now come inwards towards what we've already done here. So again, I'll take a section at the front, so about 4 or 3 sections depending on how much hair your client has. So we will put some texture powder at the root, work that into the hair. You don't want to leave it because you'll then see white patches in the hair. So when you take pictures of your client, it won't look so nice. So back comb, smooth it and just position it away. Take another section and do exactly the same throughout that hair. And if you do see any powder, just work your finger through and you shouldn't be able to see it anymore. So now take that section, bring it down, and we're doing exactly the same as we did for the hair that we've created here. And we can redefine it using the wax spray. Then take your second section and overlap that and bring it inwards and then pull. Then take your third section overlap over your second and then pull. And then again, as I did with the other section, just start twisting and bringing that towards the other strand that we worked with. And with a large U-pin, I'm literally just going to keep that together there while I go back and pull out the hair. So at the end of this stage, this is what it should look like, and you can go back with your wax spray and redefine with your fingers. So once we get to this stage, I'm then going to move on to the back part of the hair, but in order for this to set, I then use U-pins to hold the pieces further in towards each other. So when we finish the hairstyle, we can come back and take these pins out and have a well-defined hairstyle. And it allows the hair to set and work together. And you usually would position the pin at the underneath the section where you want it to hold. So for example here, I've taken that section, pulled it up and taken the pin to hold it underneath so that it sits in together. Okay, so on this side, we'll do exactly the same as what we have done on the other side of the hair. I'm going to take a few pieces out at the front. What this does is it just softens the front of the face, frames it, and also gives it that sort of romantic feel, and which is what we're going for. So I'm going to split this section in half here, and we will take a crisscross parting. Again, I mentioned earlier the reason why I'm taking this parting is so that the hair can work in towards each other quite well. If you take a straight parting, it doesn't come in so well. Now we start with the back section. We'll take a section, probably about 1.5 centimeters wide, and take our texture powder work it into the root of the hair. You can use your tail comb to work it in, and then your finger near the scalp so that there's no white areas. And then just back comb. So I'm back combing on this side here, just because I'm going to bring this inwards, and then the hair at the front will come inwards here. So I'm going to put that away, take another section. Back comb, then smooth, and just work that away. Take another section. So on the other side, there's usually less hair, so you would have about 3 sections. Okay, so I'm going to do the exact same thing. Take my first section and bring it inwards. So I've twisted it slightly and brought it inwards, and then I'm going to tease the hair. Hold that there, then take your second section and overlap it. And take your third section and just overlap that. And then I'm going to go back in and just tease the hair. Then with the wax spray, I'm going to redefine with my fingers. And then just bring that backwards and clip on the scalp area. Now I'm going to do the same thing at the front, leaving the pieces that I took out. Take a section. Powder, back comb and smooth. So I'm just rubbing that powder in, just because I don't want it to be visible. And now I'm going to take this inwards to what I've done here and pull towards my client. And just check at the front, and then take another section and overlap it. So I've got my third section here, which will go last, and I'm going to bring that inwards, tease outwards, and I'm just going to hold that there while I get the wax spray to just define that. And then take my third section and bring that towards the scalp. So just using the wax bone, just redefining the hair. And where I've got the clip here, I'm just going to clip all of that together. So at this stage, I'm going to bobby pin this work that we've already done on both sides into the hairstyle, and then start working with the rest of the hair to create a half up, half down, but textured pulled out version. So what we will do now with this hairstyle is the work that we have done on the front, we will bring it onto the back. And the only way that that would stay is if we bobby pin it onto the hair here. And then what we will do is work with the rest of the hair to create something that works with what we've done on the sides. So the ripples that we've created on the sides, we would have to then create on the hair here. So, holding that there, I'm now going to get a bobby pin and just bobby pin that in just to hold that there. And as you can see, I've still got the U-pins at the front to hold that hair while I work with the rest of the hair here. Okay, so what we will do here now is I'm putting my hands through. So remember, we've got the texture that we've already put into the hair, so you can see that we've got a wave there. What we want to do is the hair that we've got here that hasn't got so much of a wave, we want to create a wave that goes into the waves that we've created here. So I'm now going to create that with my fingers and a bit of wax spray. So start off by combing. Right, so I'm just going to tilt her head backwards and now start working with the hair here. So I'm going to start on the sides where I'm going to pull and smooth. Pull, smooth. Smooth and pull outwards. So basically find the line that you want to pull, smooth it, and then pull it outwards. Now, as we get lower, we're just going to work with the actual curve in the hair and then pull outwards. So I'm going to start in the middle, spray with the wax spray, smooth with your finger, all the way down, and then pull out. To the bottom of the hair, because we haven't actually got any scalp or it's all free hanging hair here, we need something strong enough but not sticky or heavy to pull the hair down. So the hairspray that I use is this Masterpiece hairspray by Bedhead, and I like this spray because it also gives a sheen to the hair but holds it. So for hairstyles like this, it won't weigh the hair down, but it will give you a nice stiff hold. So I'm spraying and then smoothing and positioning the hair where I want it. Now, before you spray, pull it out to where you want it, and it will hold. And it just gives you that 3D effect to the hair. And if you feel like any of the strands need a bit more hair to give it that illusion, then just pick some up from the bottom and then spray. I'm just going to pull a little bit here. Spray from an angle, don't spray really close, it will make the hair very crispy. And also it will weigh the hair down. Right, so as those pins are setting at the bottom, I'm now going to take the side and just work it in where I want it. So we did bobby pin it slightly, but this is now working it into the actual hair. So I'm going to go underneath and pin against the scalp. What we'll now do is we'll look at the hairstyle at the front and we'll take out the U-pins and pin on the side here into the waves so that the side bits are secure into the hairstyle. So take the pins out from the tip because you don't want to pull out any strands and mess up the hair. And at this stage we can then pull out further if we need to and blend it into the style. So take the wax spray and smooth out any areas where you feel like it could look a little bit messy, or you've got a few strands that are poking up. Then here on the side, I'm just going to texturize it a little bit more. So the front fringe area, or the areas that we have taken out to frame the face, needs a slight lift so that it blends in with what we have done here. So I'm going to take that section, dust a bit of the texture powder. I'm holding my hand underneath. You don't need too much here because it's a small section and it doesn't require too much volume. And just make sure that's all blended. Take the section, and I'm back combing at the top part of it, not at the bottom. So just a slight amount of back combing, or lift that slightly and just smooth that without touching any of the hair that we worked with here. And you can use your tail comb as well to get through that. Just smooth it. And just use that to frame the face. Again, any hair that is sitting up, you can just take a small amount of the bedhead hairspray and just smooth. Right, so now I would look at her from the front and see what I would want to change. So I can see on this side I need a bit more shape on this side, so I'm just going to pull the hair. So if we look at this side of the hairstyle, I want to bring this in, each section further in, just so that it looks more like a braid. So what I do is I would then just get some bobby pins, bring that where I want to bring it in, and just literally slip the pin in. And again, I'll do the same thing here and then there. Okay, so now on this side, I'm going to take the pins out and just coat it with a final amount of hairspray. The next stage, I'm going to turn my model to the back, and this area here, I'm going to crisscross the section. Make sure they're quite wide crisscross sections, and when I do the next part, you'll see why. So I'm halving that. Now comb through that section because you want the hair to be quite smooth so you can get your hands through. And what we're going to do is almost like a twist braid. Now, tilting my model's head back, I am just going to start with a section at the top and bring that inwards and just twist the hair together, bringing it inwards. If you need, just take your comb to smooth the hair. This is how you're going to get the hair neat. So we've taken our crisscross section, and I'm going to take a section from the top, bring that inwards, twist, and then I'm going to pull. About 3 sections. So you pull like that. Then take another section and bring that inwards. And again, do the same thing. Holding that in the middle. Then again, take another section. And bring that into the middle. And tease it. Take another section and bring it in. And keep pulling. So we're pulling so that we'll get those lines and the ripples through the hair. And the way that I'm pulling is towards my client and upwards. So as I get towards the middle, I'm going to take a bobby pin and I'm just going to push it downwards and collecting all that hair so it stays there. And then what I'm going to do is work with the other side and bring it into the hair. Now taking this section, do the exact same thing. So take a small section from the top, smooth it, bring it inwards, and then pull to create those lines. When you hold tightly here, you'll be able to pull and create the lines that you want. Take another section and bring it inwards. And then pull. And then take another section now and bring it inwards. And as I'm bringing it in, I'm just twisting it slightly. And then take our last section and bring that in towards the other hair. I'm just going to use a comb to bring that in just to smooth that hair. And I am holding the two sections tightly together. And then I'm going to twist it down onto the other area where we pinned with the bobby pin. And I'm just going to pin that underneath, grabbing that hair just so that we can hold it there. This allows me to move around and work with the rest of the hair. So going back to this area here, I can now pull a bit more and create a bit more texture. You want to make sure that you've got the same amount of texture on both sides. For this style, I'm using the Tresemme Flexible Hold hairspray. I just feel that this allows the lines to settle in and hold quite well. So I spray and then smooth and just redefine with my fingers. And just down here, I'm just pulling one more strand out, just so it looks symmetrical on both sides. Okay, now I'm taking the sides that we pinned earlier and bringing that further into the hairstyle so that it blends together. So as you can see, we've still got those ripples going across. Just carry that on, twist braiding like we did earlier. And just tease. And just bring that across and bobby pin on the other side. Going upwards into the style so that you hide the pin. That is simply just so that it holds it. Then take your other side of the front part of the style. Can you see this? Okay, fine. So keep twisting. Pulling, as we have been doing throughout the hairstyle. And remember, you're pulling where you see a curve in the hair. So I've carried on twisting the hair on this side so that I can bring this over underneath the other twist that I did from the other side of the hair. And I've also pulled the hair as high as I can where it looks like it will blend into the hairstyle. You don't want to go too high. Keep putting it against the hair so that you can see whether it works. The reason why I pull is so that it gives the hairstyle a three-dimensional look. Right, so to pin this part of the hair into the hairstyle, I'm going to open the pin quite wide, a bobby pin, position it into the hair, like so, and then just work that into the hairstyle. You can't see that pin. And I'm taking the last strand that you can see there and just working that back into the hairstyle. Again, take a bobby pin and pin upwards so that the pin is hidden. So now at the bottom here, I'm going to take the hair into two sections, making sure you've grabbed all of the hair. And taking my tangle teaser, I'm just going to smooth that hair out. Twist the hair, tease it a little bit so so that it matches to what we've done up here. And literally just work it underneath, and I'll pin on the other side. You may need a few bobby pins because the hair is quite thick. And then I'm taking the other section on the other side, working the remaining hair into that, twisting it. If you need to, smooth the hair out with your tangle teaser or a brush. Twist it. And do the exact same thing that I did with the other section. And just work it underneath. So taking my bobby pin, working that into that section, grabbing it, and then pinning that into the hair. And making sure that that's actually going into the hairstyle and all the other pins that we have in there. This will hold the hair well. Taking that last section, I'm now going to take a bobby pin, slide it in straight across that section, wrap it around it, and just work it into the hair. Wherever I feel like it needs to be shaped, I'm just taking a bobby pin and going straight upwards. I'm now going into the area where we initially worked with the twist braid and taking out any pins that you can see. So by now the hair would have been secured on either side. You can now go in and tease a bit more and pull, just to give it a bit more 3D dimension. So at this stage, what I'm going to do, before I move on to the front to finish the style, I'm just going to spray, smooth out, and use some U-pins to hold up any areas. Stay upwards. Spray, pull the section that you want to smooth out, and then use your U-pin to define it. So for the front section, I want the hair to be as textured as it is at the back. So what we're going to do is take the front section, put some texture powder, like that, and just work it in. And I'm going to back comb so we have a lift. So now once we've done that, smooth the section and work the hair according to the style that you've done at the front, or whichever way your hair is falling. Take your wax spray, spray the hair, and literally just pull slightly. At the front we don't have anywhere which we can pin onto, so it won't be as textured, but you want it to have a bit of height. So moving on to the front now, I'm doing exactly the same as what we did at the back, spraying, smoothing, and then putting some U-pins in. Just so that we can redefine and hold those waves where we want them. Okay, I'm now taking the pins out after we've had the hair setting for a little bit. And I'm going to go through the hairstyle and just add any pins if I need to, but put them in so that they can't be seen. So just taking small U-pins and just working that into the style, just to hold it where I need it to hold. If I use a U-pin that's quite large or a bobby pin, and again I'm taking it out at the front, holding it from the tip of the U-pin just to avoid pulling the hair. So I'm going to put some hair accessories just to make the hairstyle even more prettier. I'm just going to take the pin and just slot it into the areas where I feel it will work. Okay, so I put these pretty hair accessories in just to make the hair look even more prettier. They're very popular at the moment with these kind of softer hairstyles, pulled out textured hairstyles, and also they're perfect for a registry event. So here it is, this pulled out textured hairstyle that incorporates a lot of twist braids, bringing the hair together, and just pulling it out so that it looks soft, romantic, and perfect for a registry event.